Hi foodies, I have a treat for you tonight. This is a very decadent, delicious chicken Alfredo lasagna. So it's my birthday and my daughter's birthday, my second daughter's birthday. We're 3 days apart. She's coming in from out of town. So she is obsessed with Alfredo sauce, and I don't blame her because I love it too. So I'm making a chicken Alfredo lasagna for our weekend party. We're going to celebrate birthdays, Mother's Day, the whole 9 yards. So I'm starting out with any type of cheese you want. There's all kinds of, like, as you can see, a lasagna blend. I'm using provolone cheese slices. You can use mozzarella. I'm using this Parmesan Romano Asiago. Any type of Italian cheese blend you'd like. I'm using some Asiago grated cheese. Rotisserie chicken I'm using. You can absolutely boil some chicken breast if you'd like and shred them yourself. I've got some frozen broccoli, some red pepper flakes, salt and pepper, nutmeg, parsley, garlic powder, and I'm getting my noodle, my lasagna noodle water going. I do not use the no bake stuff. It's not good to me, but like if you want to, you can. Preheat your oven to 350 and pre-grease your lasagna pan. You can use a butter wrapper or you can use the oil like I'm using. So for our ricotta mixture, I'm going to do a ricotta cheese, and all they had was part skim. Normally I like the full, fat stuff, but like whatever. So it looks like it's the smaller container of the ricotta. I'm sorry, I don't know the actual ounces right now as I'm recording this. And I'm going to blend in some Asiago because I happen to have that and I want to use it up. But for lasagna mixtures, traditionally Parmesan cheese is used, or Romano. Experiment, try all the different cheeses and see which ones you like the best. There are no rules with this particular lasagna. I kind of use what I have on hand. But this is very similar to the classic ricotta filling for any sort of like the lasagna al forno that I've posted before. So I don't measure because that's the Italian in me, but if I had to guess, I would say this is about 1/4 of a cup of grated cheese. Yes, you can use the Kraft Parmesan stuff if you have to. So I threw in a little bit of garlic powder there, and I'm going to put in some salt and pepper. Now you can absolutely use white pepper if you do not want the black pepper specks to be showing up in your cheese mix. That's entirely up to you. And I'm using some dried parsley, of course, and we're just gonna mix that all up. I'm gonna be folding in an egg, and so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna beat the egg up. I know that sounds so terrible, right? But what this does is it kind of gets all the ingredients melded up together and creates sort of a creamy texture as opposed to the way it is kind of now, which is not so creamy. So this kind of creates it to be saucy, and it just mixes everything up together. So you're going to want to beat it until it is the consistency of maybe a cake frosting is what I can compare it to. So I took a rotisserie chicken just for some, it makes it easier for me, but of course you can absolutely boil your own chicken and shred it. I'm not a big fan of shredded chicken, so I like to take the rotisserie chicken and dice it. Because of the nature of the rotisserie chicken, some pieces are shredded, but overall I like my chicken diced. But absolutely you can do whatever it is you want to do with your chicken. It's your meal, you know what I'm saying? So I'm taking the rotisserie chicken carcass and making some chicken bone broth, which is delicious for soups or just for sipping on its own, very healthy. So now we're going to do the Alfredo part. Now you guys know, maybe you don't, Alfredo sauce does not exist in Italy. In fact, unless it is a restaurant that is catering to Americans, they will look at you up and down sideways being all snobby about it. In Rome, there is an Alfredo sauce, but it's pasta, water with butter, and some Parmesan cheese. I don't know who created this edition of the Italian American Alfredo sauce, but I don't really care because even though I'm Italian, I love this. This stuff is awesome. I think Olive Garden really made this famous, but it's heavy cream, butter, garlic, and Parmesan cheese traditionally. Again, I'm adding some pepper. It's dark. And I'm actually putting in a little bit of nutmeg to pay homage to the bechamel part of this. Now, normally Alfredo sauce is made with a roux, starting out with a butter and flour. But I'm not doing that because I don't want my Alfredo sauce to be very thick, because this sauce will kind of thicken up with the lasagna, and I don't want my lasagna to be dry. So that's why I don't make a roux initially for my Alfredo sauce. So it's just straight up heavy cream, butter, garlic, Parmesan cheese, pepper, nutmeg, and if you want to add a little bit of salt. I think the cheese is salty enough. You don't really have to do that. Again, if you have to, you can use the Kraft stuff out of a jar, but it doesn't melt very well, so you're going to have to really kind of work with that. So now I'm going to take my lasagna noodles. And no, I didn't put oil or salt or anything with the noodles. I just boiled them straight. And I'm going to layer them about four noodles is probably what I'm going to do. Now, I made the whole box just because, but you really don't have to. I would say this takes about, 8 noodles, maybe make a couple just in case a few break, but about 10 lasagna noodles. So you can use the leftovers for lasagna soup even. So now I'm layering, I put down the ricotta mixture. Now I'm doing the provolone slices. You can use mozzarella slices, you can use Gouda, like whatever your little heart content desires with the cheese, go ahead and do it. I'm not going to tell you. So I'm putting some Italian herb mix on the chicken. Just going to kind of blend that in, and then I'm just going to sprinkle the lasagna with the chicken mixture. Now, a lot of people make this with spinach. I don't. I use broccoli. We love broccoli. I actually had some fresh broccoli that I blanched and froze. But you can absolutely just buy straight frozen, chopped broccoli from the store and sprinkle it on here. Mine is not even thawed. You don't have to worry about that. It will bake and cook just fine in the oven. So you can do it straight from freezer. And now I'm just going to pour in the Alfredo sauce, half the Alfredo sauce. And as you can see, it is thin, but you want that because you don't want this lasagna to be too dry. So yeah. So now we're just going to repeat. Lather, rinse, repeat. We're going to put on the noodles again. About 4 suffices, and then we're just going to throw on the rest of the ricotta mixture. We're going to throw on some more cheese slices, and then I'm going to take my lasagna cheese mix here and just going to sprinkle the whole top with that, and then add more chicken, the rest of the chicken, the rest of the broccoli, and the rest of the sauce. Just pour it all on there. This is so decadent and rich, you guys. So now I'm just going to top it with the rest of this. Yeah, so this is definitely a special occasion meal for us, which is why I'm making it for, the birthday celebrations and everything, because this is just not something you could really eat all the time unless you really are into, your arteries clogged and being overweight. So this is definitely kind of a holiday thing, a special occasion thing, but oh my goodness, it is fabulous. So now I'm just, sprinkling a crap load of cheese on there. I don't even know, I got 6 cheeses going on here. Again, you can do whatever you want, and I'm putting a little bit of cheddar on there just to give it a pop of color. So yeah, if I had to count, I think I got about 6-7 cheeses going on, and that's just fine. So now I'm putting on some red pepper flakes, not only for a little bit of kick, but also for the aesthetic. And we're going to bake this 350 for about 45 minutes, and here is the final result. With the sun, it's kind of difficult to tell, but if you want to, you can throw this under the broiler for a minute or two if you like that kind of the browned cheese, sort of like a pizza sort of vibe. But for us, this is perfect. You're going to want to let it sit for about 10-15 minutes to sort of set before you start cutting into it to serve it. But once you do, it's going to look like this, and oh my goodness, look at that. So creamy, rich, delicious, decadent, cheesy, gooey, comforty. It is amazing. So I had to bite into it just to show you guys, but we're going to be taking this for birthday.